Okay, we should be live. Um, and I'm hoping that I am heard. Just see. Uh, I should be checking my raw. Okay, I can hear myself. I'm gonna be playing some music. It might get copyrighted over on. Am I getting a double echo now? Or no? No, I'm not getting a double echo. Okay, cool. All right, so now I was. Okay, I don't think you guys can hear that. Yeah, you guys couldn't hear that. How do I fix my audio? Um, hmm. I haven't done this in a while at all. What is this? Stream redirect. No, we're not doing no. Um, but then again, I don't listen to music with you guys. So I don't know if I guess we're gonna have to wait and see what happens. Cause oh, why are you okay, so no. We're gonna go with this. Okay. So that was a little louder in my headset. That was a little louder. Okay. So we know that I can hear myself and probably people can hear me out there. Um, there is a delay only because we're using the browser, but um, hopefully, Hopefully that you guys can hear Dosiva when I bring him in a little bit. Um I don't know, I was trying to play some music earlier. I cannot wait for like 2.0 uh Rumble uh to come in. No, so you can't hear the music cuz at this point the music would have been playing. We did it last time. I think it's going to be fine. Okay. All right. Excuse me. We did not do music last time. That's what we didn't do. So I guess it'd be different, but like if I wanted to listen to music, to have it play through the headset so that you guys can hear it, like I would like to have that happen. Um, Let me change that to all. Um, but I guess everything is fine because you can hear me. Um, yeah. Cool. It is cold, so I'm wearing a sweater. So, hmm, okay. So we will all be fine. Let me see if that's true. How do you I guess do I have to put it here? Just so you know, over on the Rumble side of things that you guys can, tip, send subscriptions and gift subscriptions as well. But where is this? Oh, I see. I could enable subscriber chat only over on Rumble and disable large history. Wow. Slow chat and pop out the chat. Okay, cool. Wait, what? Oh, that's new too. That is new. Okay. Uh so in a little bit I'm gonna tell Dose Evil that I am live. Um so again, we're testing out Rumble. I'm still very, very, very new to Rumble. I wish I could just put like my name. I I'm still learning. I haven't done this in forever. Um I really haven't. Why is there nothing where I could just put my name? I hope it does that thing where like it um gives me like a little sound to know when he comes in. Cause I'm over here being like, "Hey, I'm live. Hey, I'm live. Live, 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 live." You know. Um, if you guys want to share the live stream, that would be really, 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 really fantastic. I was gonna be like, it's gonna be fucking fantastic. Um, so you know, so you guys can't hear music if I play it through my headset, and I don't know why that would be a thing if this is like a canvas. If I'm using the browser source, and not using like Melt Studios, um, but we'll see. We will see what happens. Um, I always try to find like my Rumble tweets within like the Rumble community over on Twitter, and like I could never find them. And I don't want to keep having to like make a new tweet inside the Rumble community. I really don't. But obviously, since I am trying my best with this, I do want people to know that I'm here and I'm around. Um, you know. But I do want to say thank you guys for stopping in, lurking, and hanging out with me and Dos Evo. Um, so that way we could talk about MLW Battle Riot 7. And I will say this now, I will say it again when we start. But if for whatever reason, YouTube decides to silence me once again by disconnecting to reconnect and you don't hear any audio, I cannot fix that on my end. So just be aware. Just be aware. Just come over to the green side if you want to. But yeah, the whole censorship thing, man, got to go for no reason. That's why with Rumble, I rather be my authentic self and talk to you guys, and talk about stuff that might be uncomfortable, but sometimes you might have to have the chat. You never know. Um, but just in case, just in case. I wish there was like a search function. Because again, like I want to contribute to the Rumble community. Um, but I can never like find my stuff, and it doesn't go into like my replies or like anything like that. Oh, here we go. I finally found it. So that way, I don't have to like make another post. And I don't know, that's gonna like boost it up. Is it gonna boost it up? Um, I'll just do it twice. Uh, man, Twitter, if you guys give me another, uh, like pay for Twitter Blue for $1 again, I would gladly like upgrade to see all my analytics because I am a numbers girl. So, um, because I am a numbers girl. I know everyone's gonna probably be watching the Super Bowl, but then again, I don't even know what time the Super Bowl like goes on. Does anybody know what time the Super Bowl happens? Cause I don't. I don't know. I should have tweeted out. I think the Turning Point USA one is at 8, which I found it kind of weird. And by the way, shout out over to YouTube. You guys made the Gunther video. Um oh, cool. Wait, how do I can I not do I drag you into this? Oh, listen, we haven't used Rumble Studio in a while to do an MLW review, so I'm learning Rumble 1.0 because 2.0 is going to be dropping this week. So I was like, do I drag you in here? Like, how do I do it? Where's the sign that says add Dose Evil?
I don't know. I had to hit allow,
Oh,
2 different
really?
times, and then I had to turn the mute off my, the line off both my microphone and my camera, and then I automatically popped up here. So it
Oh,
seems like it
okay.
was my end that I had to do. I didn't know it. I was just looking at things that
Well,
didn't look right and changing them.
well, to let you know that when I sent you the invite, there is like a little clickable like thing that says for approval, and I clicked it off to make sure that like, you don't have to like click for approval. So I don't know. I'm still learning Rumble as I tell everybody.
I don't think I've ever been on Rumble before, but listen, I'm here. It worked. We got it.
Yeah. All right, cool. I was just checking our voices if everybody could hear us like on the other end, only because I was testing out if I could play music. But the music wasn't sounding because I was like, oh shit, if I can't hear the music, then if they're gonna hear Dos Evo, I'm over here like freaking out as if like I'm a first time streamer.
No, you don't want to come off
uh,
as a first time streamer.
I know. But if you're not running into technical difficulties, you're not really a streamer anyway. That that's what I say. Um, but yeah. Uh, but Rumble lets you do all this stuff for free rather than going to like StreamYards or Restream to pay for like certain features. Like you get everything for free on Rumble.
For
It's a
now.
win-win
Well, that is
for
good.
now.
Yeah,
But
at some point they have to make money, don't they?
yeah, they're making money with the subscriptions and all the political stuff, and I think maybe some other stuff too. But
Yeah.
for right now, I'm enjoying it.
All right. Well, good. Listen, I'm just a guest, so
You're also my bestest co-host too, not just a
ah,
guest.
that's the best.
It
Great.
is.
Yeah, that was,
So we are live on Rumble and YouTube.
oh,
So
everybody.
yeah, we get to multi-stream and talk about MLW. Other than that, I will do our little intro and then we can get into it. Cool.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Square Circle Podcast featuring me, Marie Shadows, and my bestest co-host, Dos Evo. Dos Evo, how are you doing this evening?
That's good. I'm the bestest, and here we are going to talk about Battle Riot, the review that's today's real Super Bowl.
Yeah, basically, every time Battle Royale happens, it does feel like a Super Bowl. However, this time around, you actually went down to Florida. So was it cold down there when you went to Florida?
It was cold for Florida. It was not cold from whence I came. So, um, listen, I spent most of my days in the hotel, kind of schnoozing during the course of the day. I slept
Oh,
horribly in the hotel at night, so even if it was hot, I don't think I would have made much use of it. But that was fine. Yeah, so I went down there, and then lest anyone think that I'm too much of a MLW mark. I mean, it's fine. I am. This is a wrestling podcast. And I only traveled to see Mr. Thomas, which I do because I'm a Mr. Thomas mark as well. But I also do these things efficiently. So I went to New York, where my parents live in the summer. Yeah, in the summer, and my brother and sister in law live all the time. And of course, my former podcast partners, Ron and Steve, live, and they came to MLW as well. Well, Steve actually made it in the building. Ron didn't have a ticket, and then decided to go home, as opposed to just texting me, because I had two VIP passes in addition to having already bought tickets. So I just could have given, easily gotten him, or Thomas could have gotten him in, as well. So,
Mhm.
but apparently that's a thing that Ron does. So, what does that have to do with Orlando, you ask, or Kissimmee, where I kiss a nobody? Is that, well, my parents live in Florida the rest of the year, and while they're in Boca,
Mm.
they drove up one day, and then actually, and so I went to meet their friends, the Choys, um, at their golf club, to have breakfast, and then had dinner with my folks. My oldest son lives in Orlando. He's went to college there, and he's lived there ever since. So I saw him both Thursday and Friday, and he came to Battle Riot. It's his first wrestling event since, I don't know, since we went to like a Tuesday night Raw house show, like when he was like 9 or 8 or something like that. Um, and Also, other former podcast cast members from the Unpopular Review family,
Mhm.
the executive consultant Chris Harris, David Sanderson, who is an independent ref. And if you watch Battle Riot, next to Filthy Tom Lawler, the keeper, that's David. So
Oh.
he was actually working the show, but he was working the show like you work the show, for
Oh,
free.
okay.
Uh,
I
and
hey, hey,
and
hey, hey, let's not give away the secrets now. I still try to have some integrity, not to be like, "Oh, yeah, my god, I get it for free," you know?
Well, I mean, so do people. Believe me, they put people to work for this. But
Yeah.
this is how you get to work for them later on for money. Is
Yeah.
that you got to do something? I mean, wrestling's the last place where you can have, like, undeclared apprenticeships or indentured servitude, and still do it, because I mean, I really think that, like, well, first of all, criminals are probably smarter than me, and they're ahead of the game. But, like, criminals are really missing an opportunity on money laundering through independent wrestling, in that it's so
Sir.
cash. No one's paying attention to anything. Like, maybe
Sir.
there's an EMT there. I mean, I don't know. I got to figure out a way to front some promotions, for, like, the Ukrainian mob or something.
Oh my
I got
god, sir.
I got to figure out something, because it's like, you start booking these folks, and for actual money, and just, let them sell as many photos as whatever, and then you keep the money. They bring 50 photos, you just take them all. Say, yep, sold them all. Yeah, I sold three. Whatever.
Oh
Doesn't
my
matter.
god.
All the money comes in dirty, goes out clean, and goes into the pockets of all these jabronis driving 14 hours away. Perfect. Um,
Well, I will say this though, that like in the world of wrestling, somebody being an extra can one day, well, like 1 hour be a doctor. So they'll come in and they'll be like, I'm here to, assess the wrestler that's like down in the ground selling, or, hour number two of the of the event is, I don't know, them being a security guard or like a police officer or, just something. So I guess that's not really far off.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So anyway, listen. This is all for entertainment purposes anyway. So yeah, did that. So saw David, and also saw Vinny Laspada from famous Laspada subs, and also from Unpopular View. And for those who know, Nico Adams was down there, and some of his crew, and of course uh, they had dinner or brunch or lunch or whatever with Odyssey Jones, and didn't invite me. So you can see
Oh,
where I rate nowhere. Um, did have a drink with Mr. Thomas, met one of his friends. I met, oh, so remember when I thought you were talking to Court Bauer in New York? And you're like, I was not talking to Court Bauer. I've never talked to Court
it's
Bauer.
it. I know exactly who you were talking to.
I met his wife. That's the other
Oh
person that
yeah,
I met.
she's cool.
She's delightful, and the funny thing is, at the same time, David Sanderson previously was telling me that, via text, that his day the next day he had to be there at 10 in the morning, and they didn't sell any food there, and you're not allowed to bring any outside food. And I was reading that to Thomas and his friends, and to this woman who's basically the events core, basically the on-site events manager's spouse, and they all started laughing.
Hmm.
They're like, they're hazing him. They're hazing. Just tell him to bring food. And
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much as and listen, I, I'm sure there's nobody here who followed Unpopular Review and certainly didn't watch the Raw Review show that we had to do live when poor David, who's 25 now, so he's probably 19 at the time, he couldn't stay. Like old me, I could stay up, but he was falling asleep. He always has nose issues, so I would torture him live all the time. I'd say, "Wake up!" and I'd make fun for naming as Turtle, and I would say that,
Uh,
David, your nose, it's so red. Stop doing cocaine before the show and during the show.
oh
And his,
no.
and his mother was in the chat, and she'd encourage me by sending laugh emojis. So he's like, "My David has a friend," So it was a,
uh,
so it was, so I decided not to torment him. I told him the truth, and actually, he's been doing great. So if you want to book a referee, he's really good at it, and he travels. He's refed in Japan and England and all throughout the islands, and then of course, in the Americas, and maybe one day we'll see him doing in an MLW ring as well. But David Sanderson, independent referee,
yeah,
put him up.
that sounds fantastic. But yeah, I wish that I could be there. Obviously, things, all that kind of stuff. Um,
You would have had fun.
so watch it. So yeah, I would have. I would have
Oh,
been
and
like all
Thomas
over the
paid for my
place.
drinks. Which
Yeah,
what? What?
yeah. Thomas paid for your drinks. Good dude, good dude. I was trying to find you in the crowd, by the way, when I was watching the event. I was like, where is he sitting? Why is he not sitting in the front?
Because I'm not that generous with the. I should have sat in front, but like I remember, like the section that I chose.
Yeah.
That's sort of like where you were, the equivalent where you were sitting in New York, and that didn't get a whole
Uh-huh.
lot of camera work either. It's the far side. Had I been, what I should have done is either got tickets right behind commentary, but you couldn't because that's where Cross's mother and stepmother
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
and Thomas's friend was there, and your friend's wife was there, and
Mm-hmm.
so that was like the VIP section. Or you get the tickets that are, along the rampway where the wrestlers make their entrance, and those are the only ones that would count as expensive. Am I poor? No, but do I spend money foolishly? I try not to. Um, so the only time you might have seen me is when the new Contra assassin ran
Mm.
in, because he ran in right where I was. He came in right. I was right on that corner. Um, but yeah, I didn't pick a spot that was strategic to be seen, which in hindsight was dumb because, like, don't I do everything for attention?
I mean, yeah, if you still want people to be on your podcast, you're like, hey, I sent you a message. Hey, I sent you a message. Hey, did you check your messages?
I sure
Or-
do. I mean, every now and then that works, but I actually have some people scheduled for this week, and so I don't know. I feel like things might be starting to turn where finally it's going to get easier for me, but every time I say that, like, something goes wrong. And Thomas, sometimes when he's grumpy, he's like, "I don't like talking to anybody." So
uh, I feel
yeah,
that sometimes.
I don't know. I
We
don't know any of these people. I'm like, okay. Every time you say that, we see them and like, hey, we know, and they're all like, they know each other. It's like, you have no idea how little I care about everyone in wrestling. I'm like, yeah, I actually do, because the few times I see you emotional, it's either you've been really excited in a positive or negative way, and it's almost always been about wrestling. So shush, grumpy Thomas.
I mean, I'll tell you this that the longer you hang around wrestlers, the more you realize that they just say shit for the sake of saying shit. And then later on you realize, oh yeah, they basically know everybody. Like, of
Mm.
course you know everybody. While they're telling you, I don't know that person. I don't know why we're talking to that person or whatever. And then later on they tell you like the whole story, a backstory, and you're like, but I thought you said you didn't know them.
Right.
Typical.
Like, if you don't like them, tell me that you don't like them and why you don't like them, and then, I'll either won't book them or I'll try to find another co-host for that night. I mean, I have a bunch. They're not always available, doesn't always work out, but, I mean, I recently, negotiated with Faye Jackson for quarterly appearances. I had to bribe her with Red Lobster, but, I mean, she's always asking for it on X, and I feel like, if I could get something out of it too, and she can get, Red Lobster 4 times a year, then, uh,
It's a
everybody's a winner.
win-win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's how you work the system.
yeah, and she was a ton of fun on the show. And she loves history, and we never got a chance to talk about history and things she loves in history. But moreover, everyone loves her, and that's like a whole new universe of guests that I feel like I could get, just through her. So, plus, I
It's
find that the more time people spend with me, that they actually start to like me, and so maybe I can get more than 4 shows a year out of her.
I mean, I like your wisdom, but my personal feelings aside from her, I will say that her fan base is very very big, and also if you could get Karen, uh, I don't want to fuck up her name, Bam Bam, Karen Bam Bam on the show as well, you'll have a even bigger audience too.
Who's Karen Bam Bam?
She's also another wrestler.
Well, okay, where would I know her from?
I mean, I could probably ask to see if she'll be interested to go on your show. But it's just that sometimes I confuse Karen and Faye Jackson sometimes, and I did that one time in like Philly when I had like my people there, and I thought it was Karen. A little embarrassing story, but whatever. But yeah,
Mm.
both of those two ladies have really big audiences and followings. I don't know if Karen still wrestles. Maybe she does, but on Facebook, you could definitely like reach out to her. Faye probably even knows her. You know, they're probably friends. But I'm just saying, if you want like a bigger audience, more diverse and everything like that, those are your two big homegirls to like to get.
I'm interested in all those things, but mostly I'm interested in people who are interesting and or that they can carry a conversation themselves, which in that case I can get roped into any conversation. But like, there are certain wrestlers that are not big at all that I would love to talk to. Like, I'd love to talk to Odinson because I figure he knows a lot about Norse mythology. I would love to
Yeah.
talk to the Freya the Slayer for the exact same reason. I would love to talk to like the sinister Minister James Mitchell, who was big at some
Oh
point, isn't now, but
man.
because he's the sinister minister. I mean, I, you know, if The Rock wanted to come on my show, would I say no? Of
Oh
course not.
God.
But like if The Rock came on and he didn't know anything about like South Pacific, Islander mythology, legends, and lore, which of course he had to learn from Moana, so he would know. But if he didn't, I'd be like, can you send me one of your cousins who does? Because that's more what I'd be interested in talking about. So I'm sort of I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
yeah. Anyway, we could talk about me forever, especially if I'm here doing it. Um, but yeah. Oh, by the way, the ML Thomas told me MLW is coming back to the Melrose, so
yeah,
you'll have another opportunity. He also said Philly, but I haven't seen that announced yet. I'm more
yeah. I
inclined to
haven't
go with
seen it
Philly
announced.
than New
Uh,
York again.
yeah. Um, but yeah. I'll get to all the dates because I wrote the dates down in while taking notes and whatnot. But even though we chit chatted, just a reminder for anyone that's watching over on the YouTube side of things, in the event that YouTube decides to be like disconnect to reconnect and you guys don't hear any audio, it's just them trying to silence me like they did last time during my live stream. So, come over to the green side because
Why would they do
YouTube,
that?
man.
Why would they try and silence you?
I have no idea. That's what happened last night during my stream. My chat was saying, "Hey, I can't hear you on the YouTube side of things. Like the audio's off," and I'm like, "I can't do anything on my side."
Oh, I heard the download. I listen to your podcasts.
No, no, no. It's a little different because like during
No,
the
but I
live
heard you saying
stream.
that. I heard you commenting about
Oh,
it.
oh, okay, 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 okay. That's because you heard me from the like I don't know the Rumble side because like it just cut me off.
No, it was on Apple. It downloaded the
Oh,
podcast on Apple.
Oh, that okay. Wait, no, that's different because the live stream that I'm talking about, I didn't put it up. I didn't re-put it up yet.
Oh, well,
Yeah, yeah,
you've complained about that in the past then.
yeah. Yeah, like it just happened because since we're multi streaming, I
You
don't know.
must be on the
YouTube was
list.
just like, huh?
You must be on the list.
I mean, YouTube, man. YouTube has AI now where they're like, oh, we don't like what you're talking about. We're gonna silence you.
The Google
But
gods
let
don't
me
like you.
stop. What happened?
The Google gods don't like you.
Yeah, yeah, they don't. But yeah. So just in case if that happens, guys, just so you know, and if you're listening to the audio version, thank you so much. But we are going to jump into MLW. Um, since I had to rewatch it because I did not know we started off with the MLW middleweight championship title because I think Ravage decided to put on MLW like right at the beginning of the Battle Riot event, and I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, it's the whole event. That's it. It's nothing else. Until like later on, I was like, wait, Kushida has a title. Wait,
Yeah.
was there a title match? And then like today, I was like, oh, I have to watch the whole thing. Before we get into the match, um, you guys know for weeks on weeks on weeks that both me and Dos Evil are big supporters of Quan. Like he's our homie, he's our buddy. And I was like, yo, when the hell is he gonna get that title match for getting the middleweight belt? I have nothing against non-spoiler alert because we already know. I have nothing against Kushida doing what he did, getting the title off of Templario. But I'm like, you have Quan right there, right there. So that's my only little gripe. The other gripe that I would say is that this started off with lucha wrestling. They started off with, the regular stuff that we see that luchadors do rather than a collar and elbow tie up. There was nothing there. And I'm like, guys, give us something. Later on in the match, it started to get good with all the counters, and they looked like they finally got in sync together as two really good wrestlers. Because in the beginning, I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? They did a bunch of spots. That drop kick by Kushida to Templario, some chops, the senton, the armbar locked, Templario with that face plant, and some combo kicks. And commentary was good on this. Commentary was like, hey, are you guys noticing that he's doing a bunch of kicks rather than trying to use his arm and upper body strength because that arm really hurts him? And I was like, oh, shout out to commentary. Good job for that. We get a GTS. Which I was like, hey, where is Kenta? Kenta should be coming out. That sit out powerbomb to a near fall counter, and then like the Back to the Future cradle, and that's how Kushida ends up winning. And Kushida beats Templario, which I was like, this is very interesting. Then we have our buddy come out, and our buddy attacks Templario. Here comes Kushida to help out, and Kushida wears a Contra shirt, which now I'm intrigued. I am highly intrigued. And then the crowd had once cheered Kushida and then booed Kushida, and then now we have this new formation of Contra that I am really, really interested in. Overall, the match was good to start off with. I still wish that the title would have been given to Quan at one point rather than this, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. But yeah, congratulations to Kushida for getting the middleweight championship title. What are your thoughts about the match since you were there live?
Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle in bits of kayfabe and bits of reality, and I'm really going to try to avoid anything that was on the live show before the Battle Riot
Okay,
broadcasts happened. So this is giving away nothing, but some of the luminaries that were there. We had It's Gal was there, and
really?
yeah, actually I saw Thomas let him in, and I saw a guy in a blue hoodie with red hair, and I'm like, who's that? And I'm like, oh my god, it's Gal, it's Gal,
Oh
it's
my
Gal.
god!
And I pointed, and from across the room I go, the delts are delting, the pecs are pecking, the quads are quadding, and he turns around and he goes, yeah, and
Oh
he's a
my
blue hoodie, so yeah,
god!
but it was still glorious, and like I saw the
Yeah,
face
yeah.
of God and all of that, so that was great. Also, there was a guy who I've seen before. He's a Japanese promoter, but he looks so LA. Very short guy. He hugged it out with Riddle, and then I see there's two women with him, and one of them, I swear I never remember her name, and I feel so bad, but I anyone who's known me for a long time when I covered Ring of Honor back when it was Ring of Honor, the champion for a while, I called her grandma because she looks super old, and I can't remember her name, but she was there. She must be 4'9". Um, and she was there with another Japanese wrestler. I, I, I I'm so bad with the names. I don't know who it is, but I have a feeling that these must be um, Joshi girls, but neither one were on the card, so I'm not spoiling anything that they were there. There were some other wrestlers who were there who were not part of the card, but I can't say that anyone didn't like do backstage things or didn't film segments earlier. So I'm not intentionally doing any spoilers. Certainly, Gall did not because he's under contract with WWE, so there's no way. Um, Unless there's a super deal we don't know about. Anyway, the question you asked. Yeah, this was interesting to me. It's funny because my son at that point said, "Who's this guy?" Because he's doing the time splitter thing, and I'm like, "Well,
Mm.
this guy's name is Kushida. He actually came to the U.S. about 10 years ago, and everyone thought he was going to be a big world champion, and and he was with the MLW for a while, but he's been floating around. Honestly, I don't know who he works for now. I just assume he's going to
Oh.
lose because MLW has this relationship with CMLL, but I know that." But it almost seems like they're sort of trying to wrap that up, or at least until there's another
Mm.
contract. So, this match sort of confused me. Um,
Okay.
so it's exactly as you described. It was a face on face match. It was had a strange dynamic, but it was technical. It was very good. Counter moves, counter maneuvers, a lot of Kimura lock attempts. There was, the very evenly matched. I saw. I mean, both of them were very close to me at the meet and greet. I wasn't meet and greeting anyone, but I was there in
Ooh.
that room. It,
Mhm.
First of all, Kushida looks so nice. This
Mhm.
is
He
this
does.
is going to be a real challenge. But we'll get into that in a little bit, or remind me to, because I talked about this with Quan. Um, Templario is a lot smaller than he looks on TV. I
He
mean,
is? Oh,
he's in
man.
he's in fantastic shape. Do not get me wrong, but and you can't have your entire body be covered in tattoos and not be a little bit intimidating to us normies. But
Mhm.
um, but he's very smart. Anyway, I like Templario, and I feel the same way as you that I thought that this was Kwan's title, but you knew with all the videos and everything with Kruger and Contra and him not accepting the image, and while they played this video again during the show in the broadcast in the right order, they have been playing it on Twitter and things all and social media up until now, in case you had missed it. So I'm not spoiling anything, but it was good. I mean, there was a GTS by Templario. There was a
Mhm.
sit out, a power bomb, and a kick out. Probably shouldn't have been one, but nevertheless there was. And Kushida hits the Back to the Future to become the new champion. And then Quan walks out, and I mean, I noticed that he had like a towel or something in his pocket, and it turns out it was a shirt. And I didn't think
Mhm.
anything of it at the time. And he walks in, and he's pointing to the title and all that, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, this makes sense. But he's the lucha hunter, and that's his title. And then all of a sudden, he dives down and he starts beating up Templario. And then Kushida joins him, like, oh my god, this is great. And
Yeah.
he tosses Kushida the shirt, and Kushida puts it on, Hail Contra. And I'm like, and this might be because I've been talking to Quan, and if anybody listens to the show where Cruel was on the show, um, I said, "Are you going to sort of slowly turn face, and maybe Quan is going to start to get an army and all that?" So titles are fine. Titles are props, but being the leader or the front of a faction, that's with a number of guys in it and a number of enemies. That keeps you in major storylines for 2 to 3 years, maybe longer if you want to. So I love this for Quan. I'm so excited
I
for him,
do.
and he's excited about it in real life and busting the fourth wall. Kushida's really excited about it too. So he must have signed a contract.
Ooh.
Um, and I said to Quan, I go, I don't know how you make Kushida look mean. You're going to have to put him in a mask, or you're going to have to put like war paint on, or smudge like black paint around his eyes or something, because he just looks like a nice boy. He just really
He
does.
does, yeah.
He looks like a
So
sweetie.
For Kushida, yeah, he's been like in and out of, I guess if you want to say it that, well, if I want to say it that way, for wrestling between like Japan and the US and doing this and whatnot. He is still the head trainer, maybe to an extent, over at the NJPW dojo over in California. I don't know who else is over there training, but most likely uh for the uh I was gonna say Darren Young, even though it's not, that's his wrestling name from
Fred Ross.
WWE. Yeah, yeah, Fred Rosser. He's probably still over there too, but like Kushida ends up like training guys over there for like New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I guess he's still obviously still under New Japan Pro Wrestling. Um, and being with MLW kind of helps him. But you're totally right in that, like, how we're gonna make him mean, because I only know him as like the Back to the Future gimmick, a good wrestler, probably like the best, like awesome guy to hang around with, just to see like that cute baby face that he has and whatnot. But yeah, it was interesting to have all that. But that's just a little bit more
They might
like
need to shave some of his
backstory.
hair too, give him a mohawk. I don't know, but I don't know. We gotta make Kushida look mean again because I don't because he really does have a baby face, and in person it's even more so.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like get him to be like Suzuki or Shibata.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna, and they, well, we won't get to it, but a mask probably isn't available to him. So I'm thinking, black smudge, sort of like the barbarian, like before they started putting powers of paint on him,
Mhm.
they just put like black paint around his eye and smudged it. I think that might do it, like almost like Santana's doing, but without like the tribal ordering to it. Um, Call me a dummy, but I forgot that Danny McBride was involved with all this Dongato
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, he was there
um,
too, also, but he was in like some sort of VIP room. He was kind
uh,
of from the jabronis like myself. So
Yeah. The freaking commercial that MLW played to for Dangato as Dangato is training. I thought that was just like funny, just because. I do like the fact that Danny McBride is doing like the stupid little commercials with MLW and Dangato. It's nice. It's fun. Wrestling isn't always supposed to be like serious.
is
It
he
should it should be your escapism and whatnot, but like you need to have some fun
yeah,
interjecting into that.
is he boys with Paul Walter Hauser? Do you know?
Most likely, I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say most likely, man, because to get Danny McBride, it's sort of like, yeah, they have to be.
And I wonder if like maybe the two of them are investors in Don Gallo Tequila, and so this all came about together. I don't know. I mean, I
That'd
hope
be
so.
funny.
That's a much. By the way, I had some Don Gato. It's not bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
man, I
silver.
still want.
I don't like gold tequila. I like silver tequila. Or I
Oh,
prefer it. Um, but so I can only comment on the silver. But I'm sure if the silver was fine, why wouldn't the gold be? It was tasted like tequila. I mean.
okay. So I need to take a shot if I get the chance. I need to take a shot. I say this every time on the podcast. And I was like, "Yo, I want to try this. I want to like take a shot."
Well, you will in New York if you go, and if they're really in Philly, if you go there, then I'll make sure it happens one way or another. Because I
Yeah,
plan on
yeah,
going to Philly, and a bunch of my people plan on going to Philly as well. So again, I don't travel just to see MLW and just to see Mr.
yeah.
Thomas. We make it an event where people meet. Um, and then there was a strange segment on the broadcast that we did not see on air. We didn't see it, I mean, in
Oh,
person. It was on screen where Mads Kruger is walking in and Shotzi passes him and
oh
she's
yeah.
tying him up like baby back ribs. It's like Shotzi's
Mm-hmm.
Mads Kruger. I'm like, I'm like, holy OT spat, man. What was going on there?
I saw that and I was like, damn, girl, like, what are we doing?
I don't know, but
Oh
I'm
my god, that was funny.
intrigued. Even though I still haven't forgiven you, Cruel. I'm sorry. It's just a, I mean, and listen, you sort of got what you deserved. That's a bit of a teaser.
I will say that the last time that we talked about like Shotzi and Kruger teaming up, I think that MLW should create some like mixed tag belts and start that division and see where they could go with that.
Anything that involves Shotzi, I'm generally in support of. I
Yeah.
think she's great.
Uh, So before we move on to any of the other stuff during Battle Riot, just so you guys know, MLW. Obviously, this is February 8th. They're already in Chicago, so you already know we can't say that date. But the upcoming MLW dates are March 14th to Atlanta, Georgia, and April 12th to Charleston, and June 10th right back here in New York City at the Melrose Ballroom. Make sure to get your tickets because you don't want to miss it because it's actually a good time. It's a really 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 good time.
No bad
Um,
seats, very affordable.
mhm. So you know, Quan taking over Contra, I am excited for it. And I will say this because I was writing this down in my notes that like, even though sometimes for MLW storytelling, there could be some, loose ends. There could be some stuff that doesn't make sense. And luckily, I guess because they were listening to our podcast and talking about MLW, MLW Fusion is coming back, which is going to be helping the storylines because they needed that little bit of help just in case if like they can't get to it over an event like Battle Riot, for an example, when like Battle Riot is the main course for MLW. I will say this though, that the investment for having Contra and everybody in the group having their own individual storylines and then eventually like still being under Contra and still doing what they have to do, that has been the most consistent investment in MLW, and that's why I would trust Kurt Bauer and his writing team to continue the Contra story under Quan and a bunch of new people that we're going to be talking about because they showed up in the Battle Riot segment. As for Kruger, I have no idea what he's going to do. So, do you have any ideas? Do you have any thoughts about what Kruger is going to do?
Well, Kruger miscalculated because he said that Contra's mission was never his own. It was always to get to the title for his own glory. But, he forgot that sometimes you need an army around you, especially when there's an army coming after you. And there already was an army coming after him. They weren't united, but you had Hammerstone, you had Riddle, you had the Skyscrapers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Cross had just entered the fray, and of course, in MLW, everyone's looking for the title. Mr. Thomas, perennial number one contender, eventually is going to become the groom and not the groomsman. He made a terrible error and he declined the mission. Quan expressed his disbelief and disappointment, and he had to know that stuff was coming. But this Contra story has been continued even while Contra was a little bit thin, or was it ever really thin, or were there just people lurking in the background? I don't know. But yeah, Fusion is starting weekly. They still have not said when and where. I had thought maybe they would announce it during Battle Riot because it seems like a good time to do it. I don't know if they didn't want to overshadow certain other things or blur the lines, or maybe the deal isn't finalized or whatever the case may be. But they will be on a where, and the where will likely not be YouTube, at least not as a primary place. When? I don't know when they'll announce it, but hopefully it'll be, um, uh, by summer, because they did say 2026. They haven't said when in 2026. And I don't know what they're doing in Cicero now, if they're doing tapings for Fusion, or if it was just sort of like a lucha, sort of like headliners of MLW kind of show, more of a CMLL thing. I I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it yet. I didn't think that you were going to want to review this and then go straight into reviewing that also afterwards. So, but
Oh,
we can talk about it down time. Anyway, they told us about the Battle Riot rules, which for everyone, the one thing they didn't say is the interim between the people coming in. I think it's less time than the Royal Rumble. I don't think it's 3 minutes. I think it's more like 2 minutes. They have 40 people. It's like a
who's counting, man?
I was trying. Well, the 40. My one gripe is the 40 is a little bit long, and if you're going to go to 40, those last five, they can't be duds. Like they all have to be
Mm-hmm.
like some sort of good surprise for. And there's different. types of good surprises. You don't have to be so like like Carlito lives in Tampa. Like that would have been a good surprise,
Yeah.
even if he's not going to do anything in it. Anyway, it's a street fight in a cage. There's
Mhm.
no disqualifications. Eliminations can be by submission, pinfall, or over the top rope, which I love.
Yep.
Um, and the number one entrant was Killer Cross.
Yep.
Um, his mom was sitting right directly behind commentary, behind Dombrowski with her husband. And on her right, another, I'm breaking the fourth wall, betrayal here. Next to her was one Jet Jansen Rodriguez, the writer, producer, and director of Blue Evening, the movie the Killer Cross starred in, or
Oh.
Kevin, yeah. Uh, Guest on Garden Views podcast, and I'm blowing it right now, and guest on Book of Black as Super Panda, allegedly a friend of mine who I did WhatsApp and says I'm a Orlando. Do you want to get a drink or something? Didn't respond. So not only was cruel to me, the panda is now dead to me as well. I should have known not to trust raccoons that don't have tails. Um, the super panda was there, and he is super no longer. Down with pandas.
Oh my god.
The Sentai Death Squad
Um
should have brought a separate body bag for that little panda. So mad.
uh but yeah. Um I don't know. I feel like saying congratulations for you getting. Did you get the dude on the podcast?
In
The
both of his
director?
in both of his personas, yes.
So congratulations on that, because that's really fantastic to get. But yeah, Cross does enter in at number one. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, and by the way, the title was on the line, ladies and gentlemen, for this battle riot, which apparently they haven't done that in like years. And then they were like, yeah, we should just put it on the line. And I was like, oh, that means one of two things. Kruger may retain, and they may have extra story with him, or we're getting a new champion. Which,
Good way to
not
protect
spoiler.
your it's a good way to protect your champion, but keep him looking strong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which, non-spoiler alert. Cross is our new MLW champion. Number
Good luck.
two came in as Riddle, which I thought that was kind of funny to like reignite that feud. Now, for the sake of this, I did not write down all 40 people. I wrote down like
Oh, I
stuff
did.
to talk about. Oh, you did?
Yes.
um,
Mostly because they did a good job of reminding us of the Cross Riddle backstory
yeah,
and the interplay they've had on MLW Air, which is good. But at number three, so this my son goes to get, we'll just call it a soft drink, though it wasn't so
okay,
soft at the time. He gets
okay,
up, and I'm like, shit, he's gonna miss number three because I already knew who the number three entrant was. It was Big Trouble Ben Bishop at number
yeah,
three, all 6'12" of him. And before my son gets back, he'd already screwed up a goozle, got it reversed, and tapped out to Matt Riddle in about 3 seconds. Had left the ring. If you blinked, you missed him. But the unbookable Ben Bishop was in fact booked once again and was there. All 6'12" of them there, probably a total of 3.5 minutes. By the time my son back, I was going to say, I know that guy, but I'm like, nah.
yeah. Which is, I don't know, I would say very unfortunate, but it's a rumble. Anything
But,
happens, but
but
he got
Nebraska,
booked.
Tom Lawler said on commentary on the air, he said, and his biggest fan, Tribal Keith, is watching. So,
Oh.
yeah, if you
Oh my
don't know
god, it got
about,
over.
if you don't follow Big Trouble Ben Bishop on social media and Tribal Keith, you should. It's the best thing since Ethan Page and Karate Man.
I'll give it that, yeah. But at least he got booked. No one could take that away from him, especially all the trolls being like, "You never get booked." He got booked on MLW.
He gets booked a lot. He
He
really does.
does.
Yeah.
Um,
Ever since he was on my show, he's been booked a lot. That's for sure. I'm taking full credit for that.
as you should, for everyone
Right.
else too, because you give them the rub.
Absolutely. That's don't take that the wrong way, people.
um, yeah. So I wrote down like bits and pieces of like stuff that were interesting. I do want to get the other stuff out of the way. Like,
Uh,
we
I,
had chat.
I
What?
could tell you who came in. I can give you like the next five people or six people in order. And so Luke Gallows entered. Cha Cha Charlie came dancing in. He's
Okay.
the dancing Dominican. Cross actually tossed Gallows out early. Turns out there's a sort of a reason for that later. Joe
Yeah,
Coffey
yeah.
then came out, and the Coffey brothers, especially Joe Coffey, had a strangely large cheering section in the decks, but right adjacent to me, so I could see them. And so at like some point, I was joining them, but
Yeah.
there were like 30 of them. They were like really for the coffees. Then Diego Hill, and then Mads Kruger came in with his title, and he came in with the War Club. So those are like your next six or seven people. So that should, if anything interesting happened in that, that was.
Uh Not really. I have some name. I wrote down some names. Like I mentioned that Adam Brooks came in. If you guys don't know, he's an Australian wrestler that my buddy Ben like really really loves and really loves to tell me about him. And so it's cool to see Adam Brooks getting booked for MLW and getting out here, and also showing up at TNA. So he
Yeah.
pulled the double. So congratulations to Adam Brooks, and I believe that like when I saw him, I'm like, this dude has a massive glow up, which is awesome. Um,
Let me talk about Adam Brooks a little bit while you're here, because
okay,
I saw him and I call him Mallet Stone because he looks like Hammerstone, except he's like
he
half of
does.
Hammerstone. But unlike Hammerstone, I think Adam Brooks always skips legs day, but he wears long pants, so it's fine. And listen, ask Rick Rude. This is upper body business, brother. But he's great. He's really, really good. And I was lingering behind the show for really no apparent reason. At the end of it, I really wasn't. I wasn't trying to get autographs or anything. But Adam Brooks walked by me and I said, "Hey, man, you did a great job." And he said, "Hey, thanks, man." So he's not particularly big. I mean, obviously he's Bill, but he's not big. But he's got a look. He looks menacing. He doesn't have quite the
Yeah,
Benoit aura of menace around him, but he's good. And he fought Trey Miguel on TNA, and Trey Miguel has a X Division title shot, and like Adam Brooks was almost too good for this spot because like Trey Miguel should have like basically it should have been 70-30 Trey Miguel, or Trey Miguel should have killed someone. And Adam Brooks actually got more offense in on that, but he's really, really good. So your friend who's talking to him up, your friend's
yeah.
right. He's yeah, he's
Hmm.
he's, he's solid.
Yeah. So yeah, again, shout out to Adam Brooks. Speaking of Adam Brooks possibly looking like, a mini version of Hammerstone, Hammerstone came out as well. Then we had like I put Dijak and Bishop in here. I had put Onyx. I forgot his last name, but Onyx came out, and Onyx has a really nice look to him. I'm probably gonna do like more research to see who he is
Mm,
because he's a Florida local. So
yes.
he got booked for MLW. So uh, Onyx. I don't know why. This is just a little tiny joke, but when I was writing Onyx down in my notes, I was like, I hope he did not name himself after the Pokemon Onyx. Because I was just like, I don't know why that popped into my head. I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me you named yourself after Brock's Pokemon. That's just me.
So
Paul Walter
Onyx looks
Hauser.
like if Roman Reigns and
Oh,
Bishop Khan had a child.
yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh my god, that look that he came out with. I was like, oh yeah. I also did think of Roman Reigns too.
A bunch of us put our ones up.
Oh, I bet. So Paul Walter Hauser comes out as well. Your best buddy.
My best friend.
You should have talked. Like, did you get the chance to talk to him at all, or like run into him?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Um. So Paul London also comes in too, and they continue their feud. I don't know where this is gonna go, man. I don't know where this is gonna
Uh,
go.
no DQ match, I imagine. There are a couple things that happened in the interim. So Riddle and Cross, like during the scope of this match, like a lot of times they were facing each other. They always were sort of involved with each other mostly, but sometimes they were aligned together, and sometimes they were working together, and sometimes they were against
Yeah.
each other. And Riddle and Cross aligned temporarily to face Kruger, which was good tactics. Matthew Justice, of course, came out with a trash can full of
Mm-hmm.
weapons. A guy named Josh Bishop came out, who I was also really impressed with
Yeah.
him. First of all, a
Mm-hmm.
big guy, sort of has like a Dr. D. David Schultz meets Billy Gunn kind of vibe to him. I mean, he's not as big as Billy Gunn, who is really, um, but he's probably 6'3", 6'4", built well. I'd like to. I mean, he's a good guy to have in a promotion. I mean, he's a guy that should get more time in MLW or other places. Apparently, he's a veteran and had quite a history with Matthew Justice, or they were just talking that up. But Josh Bishop spent a lot of time in this match. Matthew Justice does
Yeah.
not. Josh Bishop did a razor's edge and tossed uh, Matthew Justice out over the ropes onto two tables that Josh Bishop set up.
Yeah.
That you thought was only for this spot. The tables didn't break, by the way. And so you figured that that's led to the end of the Josh Bishop story, that they just toss him out and he fight with Matthew Justice. But no, Josh Bishop like made it to like the final fight. But one of the things in the trash can was a pineapple, an actual pineapple,
Yeah.
and the pineapple played the pineapple was over, brother. Like somebody used the pineapple as a bowling ball to be bowled into
Yeah.
somebody's balls, and people were punching people in the head with the pineapple. The pineapple was a people. There was a chant for pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. So
Mhm.
the pineapple was in fact over. Now Anthony Green came in, fine,
Yeah.
nice, and then Don Gatto came in, and this was
Oh,
the
yeah.
longest, most excruciating. It looked much better on TV. They must have done some editing. It it took it had to be 7 minutes to do this. So Rachel Leigh was one of indie wrestler. Rachel Leigh was one of
Yeah.
the girls. I recognized the other one, but I couldn't place her name or face. But they were pretending Don Gatto in this limousine, and they had like one of the, like a wrestling belt shaped platform where you do like a flight of tequila. So they all did a shot. This was
Mhm.
good, but it was short, fat Don Gatto, and by short, fat Don Gatto, I mean the guy who's built like me. So I'm not
Mm.
trying to put him down, but like I shouldn't be a wrestler, neither should he. It took him forever to get into the ring. He's using the platform, the platform, sort of as a weapon, but he's moving it so slow. It was. I could have done this shit. It was terrible. Like everything with Don Gatto on it was terrible, except for the beginning of the potential of the entrance. But it was
Yeah.
so. Guy named Stallion Roberts came in. I guess the only
Oh,
impact of that is that him and Riddle were roommates at some point, so they worked together for a little
s
bit. And
yeah,
Diego
Stalin
Hill was,
Rogers.
yeah,
I will say this about Stallion and Riddle working together as a tag team. They were a really good tag team when Riddle was on the Indies. So they have that like deep history. So it's not just being roommates; it's also being tag team and really taking the tag team division by storm. And then I believe that's after that, that's when Riddle came to WWE for like a little bit. Yeah,
sense. And Diego Hill was constantly doing what we would call Kofi spots, basically being
yeah,
almost
yeah,
eliminated, but not like one time he would land, like, he'd be doing headstands to get back in, and another time, like his toes would get stuck on looped in the bottom ropes, and he would sort of, do a kip up back into the ring, and things like that. Um, thank goodness Austin Aries came in, and and someone eliminated Don Gatto and Stallion Rogers. Uh, Austin Aries was not working hard. He was working smart. And most of the time, if you watched him, he was either lurking right next to or hiding behind the referee. It was
yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
really freaking great if you were watching it and paying attention. It's hard to catch these little things when there's, I mean, at times there were 13, 14 people in the ring, and sometimes there were a few others outside the ring. But the replay or watching on YouTube really brought. So if you're inclined to watch it again or haven't watched yet, just keep an eye on Austin Aries, because
Hmm.
works. I know that he's a polarizing guy, but he works so smart. It's
He
so
does, dude. He
he's
does.
so good at being bad.
Hmm. Aside from Austin Aries, we also had Alan Angels, which I was like, oh my god, he got booked for MOW. And then we saw the return of Madman Fulton, and I was like, oh my god, I used to review your matches for MOW and whatnot. Like I remember him being there. Um, it was fantastic.
Did you hear the
Um,
comment they said about Allen Angels? They said that some of the billionaire promoters may not have given him a fair shake. And Madman Fulton, I had forgotten he exists. He looked great in this. He looks
yeah,
like a wrestler. I mean, he had the energy. He's got the size. This is a guy I want to see more. Like guys like him and Josh Bishop. You have like sort of a Land of the Giants if you want it. You could build like an indie Land of the Giants along with your Quans and the other stuff that they've got going on in MLW. Their lucha mix and whatnot. But
Mhm.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see what Madman Fulton does because he's fantastic. Before we get into Contra, because I wanted to leave Contra for like the last little bit because we
Sure.
have like new members and we're gonna break it down. I do want to say that as much shit as I give to the Good Brothers, I did pop for Festus. Ding ding
Everybody.
ding. Yeah, Festus coming out, which the WWE Festus, and I was like, oh my god. And Carl Anderson being like, I'm not Jesse, what are you doing, like, why are you coming back out here, and like just getting into the ring, and like the fans are chanting ring the bell. I was chanting that too at home, guys. I was like, ring the bell, ref. Like and honestly, if I was there, I would have been like, ring the bell, you want to do it. Like come on, it's the best. I don't know, it's the best thing ever. I really fangirled for this because I guess we haven't seen it in so many years. And then Dijak and Bishop think that they're sly to attack Festus until Carl Anderson is like, fuck it, we'll ring the bell, and he wakes up and whatnot and defeats everybody. And then once he gets eliminated, is like ringing the bell again to make him stupid, and Carl is like still yelling at him. Oh my god, it was a great like wrestling moment. How did your son feel about it?
Okay, so all right. One shout out to David Sanderson because those were his acting moments. He was the timekeeper. So whenever you saw the timekeeper reacting that he couldn't ring the bell and just said, "Okay, Carl Anderson, you take it," that was David. Perfectly fine for wrestling acting. Um, my son didn't remember anything about Festus. However, he knows CM Punk because they worked together at CFFC in Florida, where CM Punk did commentary. My son's
Mm,
not a big fan of CM Punk, so he wasn't really interested in the backstory. But when I told him what was going on with Festus and the whole thing with the ring is that basically he's a doddered zombie until the ring goes, and then he goes crazy, and then he can't be stopped until the bell rings again, and then he's sort of docile again. He got that as a fun wrestling gimmick. I still don't understand the connection that you're making when you said you love the Good Brothers. So many people are talking about Doc Gallows and Festus, but I don't know what they're talking about. It's almost like saying Grande Americano is Chad Gable or somebody else. That's craziness. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but but there are things that they do to get to 40 that they don't need to. And no disrespect to some of the people, but Jesus Rodriguez didn't need to be there, and the
Oh yeah,
cheerleader of
he
the
was there.
Savannah Bananas, Cody Fluffman, absolutely didn't need to be there. He's trying to do steamrollers on people. It just looks sad and silly. I believe that Paul Walter Hauser actually pinned him, um, and that's another problem with some of the so much going on is that there are people who got pinned and submitted that you
Hmm.
didn't see it happen. You just knew that there weren't bodies there anymore. And I mean, rarely was it anyone important, but like Riddle choked Coffee out, Joe Coffee, because Mark Coffee
Yeah.
wasn't yet, and that was a good thing. Like he was holding him. Zario like does her move
Hmm.
over the ropes, and Riddle just choked him out and let him go, and he flopped out, and that was great. Trevor Lee came
Yep.
in, looks
Oh yeah.
great,
Yeah.
throws a terrible working punch. His they were like slow motion. They were terrible. He was in there way too long. Didn't need to be there. Um, Anthony Green, no offense, he's a good worker, a good guy, but didn't need to be there. Uh, but yeah, this is sort of where I mean, some people that came in, Wolfgang came in, and then
Hmm.
we got the introduction that Davy Boy Smith Jr. was going to come in, and you see the Contra logo, and you see a guy with like blonde hair being beat up, and sort of the Contra, the camera sort of going crazy and can't see things. So I'm going to let you pick it up from here because this repeated, like Davy Boy Smith, Kojima, a couple people got beat up and replaced by
Yeah.
Contra warriors.
So Contra has gone through many different iterations. This one having Kruger and Quan next to him, and other people that were just like shifting in and out. But for the sake of this, I think that number one and number two that are important is Kruger and Quan for this, because I feel like they're the originals now, and then Quan taking over. Um, but um, so Kruger got into the battle royal, and your favorite person, Baba Thunder, is now seems to be like he's gonna be like a reoccurring wrestler on MLW. Like they worked everything out. They're like, hey, you're gonna be taking over. And honestly, seeing it on my TV, the presence that okay, I heard something in my headset. The presence of Baba Thunder is very interesting to see on my TV screen because I'm like, that right there is like $1,000,000. Him and Kruger standing apart, Baba Thunder being like, I guess the new enforcer, if you want to call it that, to take over maybe Kruger's spot. So he comes in with that. Um, now I understand why you were like, yo, Baba Thunder needs to be in this. Because it works. It really works.
He's so
Um,
good.
yeah. Which, by the way, were you able to like see him if he was walking around?
No, I didn't. I mean,
Ah,
listen, I didn't have backstage access or
yeah.
anything like that. I
I
did. I
know.
mean, you could while you're waiting in line to go out. It's like the whatever Suite C is. Like all the wrestlers were walking in and out of there, and I mean, ironically, like directly parallel to where I was standing in line. I see Thomas's head. He's on a couch, watching, probably sports or something. So I bang on the window,
Hmm.
and he turns and he's too cool. He's like, I don't know. But I saw Dijak walking
Okay.
out and Bishop,
Yeah.
and they were standing for. But so and it did spoil a couple things as to people saw, but not Baba Thunder.
Okay.
But this
Man.
also when Quan walked in and he walked straight up to Kruger and was looked at him and shook his head. He's like, and you knew that Quan did not care about winning this thing at all.
Yeah.
He's going at him, and Kruger's sort of, battling him. And then I'm yelling from my seat, missed him, missed him, missed him. And he refused, he missed on him. And then Kushida joins him. They get Kruger in the corner, but he's still,
Yeah.
pounding his back. And I'm like, missed him again, missed him again. And he did. He missed him again. And I'm like, this is great. And then all of a sudden, the Baba Thunder thing comes out. The Wolfgang came out in between, which
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know why they did that. The order seemed a little bit strange to me. But after that, you had Contra took out Kojima and Simon Gotch, who, whether you like him or not, he was part of Contra for a long time. So he comes in. So now it's four people against Kruger,
Yeah.
and so Kruger's slowly getting the upper hand, even though there's four people against him, and even though one of them's bigger than him, because he's Kruger, he's a monster, and then all of a sudden, from like in my side, one of the security guys is like, clear the aisle, clear the aisle, clear the way, and people are like,
Hmm.
are you doing your job now? You weren't doing it all night. And like someone finally gets the body again because the wrestlers come in. They're like, oh, and then all of a sudden, this giant man who looks like
Hmm.
he's too fat to walk moves in like doing a 4-2-40 and runs in, and it's like I don't know how to describe him, but y'all saw him. He's a big
Yeah.
guy. He's
I have a theory about him if you want to hear it, because I don't know if you know this, but I believe the fat guy that came running in used to play a different character in MLW as being a doctor. But one of those doctors back in the day were like, I don't want to call it a witch doctor, but one of those doctors that you don't go to because you know you're eventually going to die and become an experiment. So
ah.
I believe he played a different character back in the day in MLW because again, Ravage was like, yeah, that has to be that guy. And I was like, I had to go back into my memories of like when I started doing media press for MLW and reviewing the show, that I was like, yeah, I think I remember he was like all the way, it's maybe like 4 years back, 5 years back that he had that character. So I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
I have seen that body before in clips from various indies. I'm not gonna lie and say I know the name. He's pretty young. I mean, he reminds me more of Congo Kong than anyone else, except he's not. as tall as Congo Kong, but he's also thicker than Congo Kong and broader than Congo Kong. So um, but anyway, he came in and he's wearing
Mhm.
a mask similar to Kruger's mask. But basically, the thing is that because he comes in, Baba chokeslam Kruger out, and they're all out, and then the guy just runs in and makes a way for it, and he does a splash on Kruger on the outside. Kruger's dead now, so. And then the Sente Death Squad walk in. Baba Thunder came in with a body bag, so you knew what that was for. They put him into the body bag, and
Yeah.
and Contra marches out with the Sentai Death Squad, basically pallbearing Kruger in a body bag, carrying him away. And somehow I saw a guy that looked like Kruger the next day win a title in another promotion. I'm like, how's that possible? I saw that guy die. And Cruel responds to me and goes, "Welcome to the multiverse of wrestling." So I just said, right. But I should have said, "You mean the multiverse where a guy that looked like you agreed to guest on my show, talk about Alien Earth, but didn't?" Mm, I did
True.
do
It,
that.
it is it is the multi universe when it comes to wrestling. It's the same
Right.
reason why Adam Brooks got booked at MLW and got booked in TNA.
Right. But TNA was taped in Albuquerque like 3 weeks before, so
Hey.
the order was different. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I don't know if he's signed by TNA either, but I mean, I'm sure he's only here on a work visa, but TNA doesn't care. They do
Yeah.
short term contracts anyway. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, so is
Um.
MLW.
So because Contra has now become new,
Yeah,
obviously you guys already heard and know that between the both of us, we're really excited for it. It has been a lot of investment, and Blood Money has joined us in the chat. And yeah, Simon Gotch definitely like what you guys are saying that he was back with Contra all the way back then. We probably do need uh, Joseph Samuel, even though I know they were like chanting it as Samael and Suzuki. I
sure.
if
You know what
Quan if
Samael
Quan,
means, don't you?
is
It
it
literally means the venom or poison of God.
okay? I was gonna be like, is it gonna have to deal with angels and demons?
That's right.
Okay, because I was like, I know that stuff. Well, wait, it means the poison of God.
Yeah,
That's
or venom of God, depending on how you want to
different.
translate it. How snake-like you
Oh,
want to make him. If you want to make him your Satan, you're going to do it the venom of God. If you're just going to make him angel that does some dirty work, then you're going to say the poison of God.
okay, because I
We're,
mean,
we're getting into
for
Garden
those
of Flood territory here now.
I'm just gonna say that for people that don't know, they don't listen to the other sidecasts that I do. But I did grow up Catholic and went to Catholic school, but I don't think they touched
No,
on that. Yeah,
no,
I
a New Yorker of Latina descent, a Catholic. What?
are you being sarcastic?
No, I mean even my wife
Oh,
grew up Catholic, and I mean, I mean, it's like all of Latin America is practically Catholic. I mean, there's a few Morbins here or there.
oh, but yeah, I don't remember us going over that for his name.
Oh no, it's
So
from the pseudo pigrapha. It's from it's from the it's not canon in the Catholic Bible.
oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's like from those like Book of Enoch, it's basically
Oh,
Judaic apocalypta, which has been absorbed by a lot of Christian sects, some big ones like some a lot of evangelicals and fundamentalists and certain Protestants. So and Eastern Orthodox has adopted some of it. The only Bible that has all of the books of the Bible, including all the Gospels, is the Ethiopian Bible, which, by the way, to this day, it was recorded in July of 2024. Is still the most popular show that I ever did, and every month it's still in the top 10 listens on a continuing basis.
that is fantastic.
It
But
really
yeah,
is.
you learn something. You learn something new on the Square Circle podcast sometimes too. And then obviously Suzuki. I can't wait for Suzuki to come back to MLW and do some stuff. If Quan is there, Suzuki like should be there as well. But other than that, again, uh, we're excited for Contra. Um, Karrion Cross or Killer Cross, sorry, Killer Cross is our new MLW champion. Can't wait to see what he does. And it was really a nice moment that he shared with his mom and I guess his dad, stepdad. I don't remember what you said, but I
It's
know
a
his mom was
stepfather.
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not his dad, but a couple. I mean, I do want to point out that Sidney Akeem, former Reggie, former Scripps,
hmm
was there. Looked pretty good in there. Ricky Martinez, who, if it wasn't for the tattoo on his chest, I would not have remembered him. But he was Selena De Laurentiis like sort of hitman, his her Sicario
oh,
years ago. But new Heart Foundation, early days of Dynasty era. Selena De Laurenta, probably when probably before she was 21 years old. Um,
mm.
so they were Ariel Dominguez got launched into orbit by Hammerstone. Um, but yeah, I mean, like you said, this was a showcase. Cross going bell to bell. Riddle basically also. What happened is that Hammerstone, took himself out the second rope, and
hmm
so Riddle and Cross, Cross basically eliminated both of the skyscrapers himself. He was busted open, and it was Riddle that busted him wide open. So they were calling him the Blood King throughout the match, and now they've got shirts, the Blood King. And when Riddle was going to, try to take advantage, as Hammerstone came back in, so Riddle and Hammerstone got locked up on the other side of the ropes, and of course Cross did the usual thing in the final three as he went over to them and tossed them both out. So, um, but LJ Cleary was there, and everyone's like, "Who's this?" I'm like,
Oh
"It's Kyra.
yeah,
It's the what's her name? Kyra Valkyria's
Lyra, Ly-
Lyra Valkyria's
Lyra's
husband."
fiance.
Yeah. And my son actually knows who Lyra Valkyria is. He's like, I like her. I'm like, you do? And he knows who Joe Hendry is too. So a bunch of people, if you heard
Oh,
us singing We Believe in Joe Hendry, that was our group. The Mr. Thomas dance, Mr. Thomas, clap, clap, that was
yeah,
us also. And Thomas, so when you saw Thomas look to the crowd and sort of point, that was
yeah.
us. And when Dijak and when the skyscrapers double goozled and eliminated him, and you heard all the
hmm
boos and Dijak is listening to it, that was at us as well. So,
Great,
yeah,
great, great, great.
yeah.
Mhm. Um,
Yeah.
overall, because I like to know crowd and whatnot, because New York crowd is different from like every other crowd. What would you say about the Florida crowd?
Very good. Yeah, it was very good. Nobody was fighting with Kenta, for example. Um,
Yeah.
Similar energy. I mean, again, strange quarters. I mean, you could say our quarter was a strange quarter, being the Mr. Thomas quarter. People still cheering for Riddle, even though he's a bad guy. People
Yeah.
definitely the coffees getting having like their 30 people, like when the Briscoes used to bust people into Ring of Honor. But me, I was mostly feeling the betrayal of the no longer Super Panda.
Mm.
Once I spotted that little rodent, not rodent, what was a marmot, or I don't know
A
what the
marsupial? A
yeah,
marsupial? I don't know.
not
It's a
marsupials.
bear.
Whatever a raccoon is that's what that little lemur. Or they just said I don't know. Anyway, no, the crowd energy good into the show
hmm
most time. I gotta tell you, it 40 people gets a little bit long. So there were times where we're just like, who's that, why? um Even Onyx One, as good looking as a guy as he is, they should have brought him earlier because nobody knew who he was. I mean, we were
Yeah.
curious, but when you come in at like 36, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
We know he's not going to win, so nobody cares. And it's not like he brought in like 35 people to cheer for him or anything. There was like no response. Mostly, you got people going, "Is that Team Roman Reigns?" I'm like,
Yeah.
tell him to his face, dude. Because the guy's looks like a monster. Um, but no, good crowd. Definitely a good crowd.
Do you have any more memories before we wrap it up? Anything else you want to share?
Um, I know I've been babbling and talking a lot here about it. It's fun, and you sort of feel like part of the family. And I have a feeling that any fan that
hmm
went to the 6 or 7 shows, you're going to start to form little relationships or at least recognitions with people there. I mean, the guy that I thought was Court Bauer that I now know isn't. He's walking away.
It's
He's
not.
very accessible. I met their new PR guy, Sean, the PR guy.
Oh,
Um,
you finally met Sean?
yeah,
I have not met him yet. I know who he is. We talked to.
and he didn't know that Thomas had a podcast. And Thomas was like, no, 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 it's just a little podcast. I'm like, no, he loves doing the podcast. He's
Uh,
like, I hate doing podcasts. I'm like, no, he loves it. He has a great time. He goes, Sean. And he's like, what's the name? And I talked to Sean about that for a while. I asked
cool, cool,
Thomas to
cool.
get me his. I talked to Faye Jackson for a while. I think I mentioned that already. But it's just, there's people milling about, including former Ring of Honor champions, and it's Gall. So I mean, you can see glory, right before your eyes in Osceola, Florida,
Yeah, man.
for me.
Uh, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, you find him at Sean. Sean's a good dude. Sean sends over stuff for for us podcasters and content creators. He's a really good dude. Um,
Now I
but
know.
yeah, um, sometimes this is why like I like doing what I do. Anyway, I'm glad that you had fun down in Florida. And even though it wasn't so cold, but it's
I don't
Florida.
care. Yeah, I don't really care. I'm not. So I'll take
You
the
don't care.
55 over 5 anytime, and I'll take
Oh,
55 over
55?
95.
Oh,
Yeah,
55 is good, man.
yeah, 55 is perfect for me. It's fine.
It is.
What's not
Cool.
fine is Delmonico's Italian Steakhouse, where the steak sucked.
Oh, really?
I had to put salt and pepper on. I never put salt and pepper on a steak in a steakhouse. This was terrible.
Oh, oh,
Terrible.
funny that you talked about steak. I've made finally a very good steak and eggs today for
Ooh,
breakfast.
all right. Well, hey, listen. If I do come there, no, I'm kidding. Um, more likely Philly, anyway, as stated.
Yeah. Blood Money in chat said that imagine if we can book Contra versus House of Torture. They would have to get evil. They would have to get evil for that. MLW, utilize your New Japan partnership, man, because I need Tanahashi to say that they're done with AEW. So MLW, get working on that. Court, like, come on, man.
Do you
We
feel
gotta
like
make
their partnership with AEW and most of New Japan is primarily outside of the US? Because I don't see a lot of it inside of the US. I see more of it when they're in Mexico or other places.
what was the beginning question?
Like there's a banner that says AEW, MLW, CMLL, New Japan Wrestling. There's like the one that shows all four of them, and I've never seen that in the United States, but I've seen that like when they did shows in Mexico. So it's sort of like it's like New Japan a little bit. AEW, I mean, I only saw MJF that one, those couple
Yeah,
times. That was an MJF, and I'm sure it was only because of the Mystico thing. Um, so I'm not sure how much of a free hand. I'm assuming the AEW keeps a pretty tight leash on whatever it is. It's coming out of the drips and drabs that
yeah,
AEW allows. I suspect.
yeah. But I say it on anything else that MLW does a better partnership than like AEW when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So,
Well, they believe
I'm
in
I'm
partnership.
hoping.
They want everyone
Yeah,
to look good.
I'm just hoping into the universe. I'm just putting it out there. Like MLW, help out, man.
Me too. I
Make
hope so too, and I hope this platform of their streaming or TV helps them to do so. One thing about MLW is that they sort of know where they fit into the ecosystem, and they don't try to pretend to be otherwise.
yeah. That's what I love too. That's a really good assessment of it. Um, all right, so I was gonna say this that the only way that I can get to Philly is if I have um a ride, like a guarantee ride, because
Mhm.
I do not want what happened last time, where I almost got stranded out there,
Mm.
and I need a guarantee ride person, a chauffeur, whatever you want to call it. That's the only way that I will go back out to
You're in the
Philly to
Bronx,
get.
right?
Yeah, I'm in the Bronx.
Okay, so if this happens, and on the assumption that the people I know are going, the most likely person who's going to drive is going to already have to pick up someone who's in the Bronx. So
Okay.
I have a feeling that if those two dominoes fall, then yours should not be difficult to add on top of that.
Because I will let you know that even if the last time, but this is so many years ago, so many years ago. None of the wrestlers had any room for like me and my people to like take us back to New York or even somewhere close, so we could just like take transportation back up to the Bronx. But yeah,
That's
I would not make that mistake again. But I will say that Jacob Fatu at that time had a really huge heart, and at least he drove us to the bus stop. But we didn't understand how like the transportation worked in Philly at that time, so we were like, "What the fuck are we doing?" And then we missed the train to take us home. But luckily, we were able to get a lift. That the Lyft driver was going back to New York because he lived in New York, so we were able to do that and go home rather than being fucking stranded out there for the whole entire like night.
the planes, trains,
But
and
yeah,
automobiles there. Yeah, no, the Philadelphia system works exactly like it sounds. SEPTA. It sounds like a disease, and it acts like a disease.
mm.
We'll figure this out. First of all, I need to confirm that they're actually going to be in
Yeah, yeah,
Philadelphia.
yeah.
But if they are, we have harder commitments than normal to yes, we're going. And Chris, who lives in Orlando, his folks live in Philly, so he's going. And so if he's going, I'm pretty sure a bunch of other people from New York are going, and some of them are already in the Bronx. So it really shouldn't be a problem. You might even be able to meet some other people who are involved in local wrestling in a semi-professional, semi-paid sort of way.
Yeah. Um, other than that, put yourself over.
Yeah, I do a bunch of things, but we've already talked about the GOT Garden of Thought. You'll generally get 2 to 3 shows per week. Some will be like, hey, when we're talking about Samael and the Ethiopian Bible and stuff like that, I recorded today with Dr. Ed Barnhart on the Khmer civilization and empire, Angkor Wat and Cambodia. Yesterday, I recorded with my friend Mag Morgan on Kush, Punt, and Nubia, pre-Egyptian and some Egyptian as well. But this coming Wednesday, I'm recording with somebody who I've been in touch with for a while, who was part of the Iranian Republican Guard. Recently got his family out of Iran, so now he's free to talk. Really, it's gonna be really interesting. I hope it's true because it sounds like it could possibly be half bullshit because he's half Jewish. I don't know that they had anyone that
Mm.
was half Jewish in the Iranian Republican Guard, but nevertheless, I guess we'll all find out together. I do some stuff other than doing stuff with Marie here. I do some stuff with Wrestling Soup. Do an LFG review show with Lufisto. Me and Lou do a couple of AAA, WWE that were when they were on YouTube was like a per view kind of event. I do something called Body Slam Briefs. I just recorded one on the TNA preemptive suit of Gail Kim because I felt like there's probable tie-ins to that to what's happening with Janelle Grant and AEW Tate Twins Kevin Kelly. And there's a whole feed called Wrestling Super Friendo. So please subscribe to that. And all of that is original content from people in the Wrestling Soup universe. I do a TNA show. We do an Evolve show. We have an NXT show. We're getting a SmackDown show, a couple GCW shows, some potluck
Oh my
stuff.
god.
Yeah, I put the old Book of Black shows on that. An open invitation, like if you want to do House of Glory or Reality of Wrestling or Japanese wrestling or Canadian wrestling or the UK
Oh
scene
my god.
or death match or you want to cover CML or whatever, just get me an MP3 and call your show Wrestling Something Food to keep with the naming convention. Um, and as long as it's decently produced and sounds okay, and you're not like too over the top in your bad wordiness. You're no worse than Joey and Mish, in other words. So that's a pretty long. Well, I'm happy to put you on there because the more the merrier. And I'm working on some things that we might get some people on there that could be pretty cool doing shows. It I don't know. Pretty. I'm supposed to be talking to some people this week, so it could be kind of exciting. And now, listen, Marie knows this. I asked her; she has her own thing. She's building her own thing, so of course she's not going to compete with herself. Um, but for those of you, if you do a really good podcast, but only 8 people listen, and you sort of feel upset about it, we'll put it on there, and more than 8 people will listen. And if you want me to tell you how many people listen, I will. If you want me to lie to you, I'll lie to you because I lie to myself all the time. Every day I say, "Your hands, look at your hair, it looks good." So,
Oh my god.
yeah.
That just makes me happy and smiling because I've said for a while that the wrestling community, the ecosystem of it, thrives better when we have different voices talking about the different promotions and whatnot, and not just the same old, hey, let me do a WWE review right now, and let me do an AEW review right now, and just focus on those two. And wow, that could get someone to get some money or go into like the partner programs on like the social media stuff. What about all the rest of the other promotions? Obviously one person can't like really realistically cover everything, but if we have different voices that come together and talk about wrestling and have fun and all in kayfabe and everything like that, it's freaking fantastic. So I really do second and encourage anybody out there that wants to go do it, because it's always easy to harp on like, the dirt sheets are stupid, this is stupid, that's stupid, don't listen to them. But hey, we got to talk about contracts that are coming up, because I tell you guys, don't listen to dirt sheets, where we got to talk about it. It's fucking stupid. But if you're not trying to improve the wrestling business or the wrestling ecosystem by talking about these other promotions, and then people wonder why they say, oh, well, wrestling's dead. Well, you're not talking about, what's happening in other places, that might get people started to talk about those promotions and get more money and get more fans and sell more tickets and book more people and whatnot. Like, it's an ecosystem that we all got to like help out and like pay our dues. Like, I think about this in like a really old school kind of way. Like, just randomly, I know this is an MLW thing and we're down to the end. Before I decided to like tweet out everything like, hey, we're going live, I turned on. I'm watching YouTube, and a German company, Global Wrestling Euro, I believe that was their name, GWE, was playing. Like they showed their show, and guess who shows up? Andrade. Andrade shows up, and he's in this like fatal 4-way, or it could have been like a fatal 5-way, and they're all wrestling and everything. And Andrade ends up getting the world title. And I'm like, what is happening here? And then in my head, I'm like, I know nobody knows this on Twitter, So breaking news on the Square Circle podcast, depending on like when you hear this, most likely tomorrow, Andrade is the world champion for Global Wrestling Euro, which is a German company. It should be German. They sounded German. But yeah, stuff like that. Like if you want to talk about a promotion that no one talks about, and you have access to like, if you're in Canada, you have way more access to Canadian wrestling than we do, in a way. If you're in Japan and you want to talk about the other promotions other than New Japan and Pro
Or
Wrestling
those,
Noah,
you know,
or what?
or those. I
Yeah.
don't care. If you want to talk about Maryland Championship Wrestling and Adrenaline Championship Wrestling, or your own,
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't care. I'll put up 6 shows a day or 16 shows a day. It doesn't matter as long as there's someone different. So yeah, if you like the Israeli independent scene or the South American independent scene or just the
Mm-hmm.
Bolivian independent scene, or you cover Ugandan soft ground wrestling, just if you want to do a show on the juggalos, whatever, there's tons of stuff
Oh.
out there, and nobody can do a podcast on that where they can make money or make a profit unless you're already working for that company. But if you want to do it and you love it and you want to put your voice into the universe and have a chance of having people listen to it, and because your whatever 8 to 48 people who listen they all have to subscribe to the entire network because they're all so there's a pretty good chance to listen to some or all of the other shows too. So we all win and we all grow together, and none of us make any money. It's all going to Wrestling Soup. So they make the money. So if you're okay with that, if you're not, I got 2 words for you. I'll leave it.
We'll leave it with that. But yeah, I encourage you. Dose Evil encourages you, and yeah, just us. We encourage that, because we need more voices rather than clowning on people. Because clowning on people doesn't get you nowhere at all. It does not get you nowhere. It turns you
That's
into the very
Cruel or
thing.
Super Panda, who are now my enemies.
Who?
Cruel or Super Panda, who are now my enemies.
Oh my god. But yeah, but
How
doing
come
that
so?
doesn't really help no one. Oh my god.
Well, they won't
All
help
right, with
me.
that.
One of those is about to become a breakout Hollywood, player. He's already won Emmys. and the other one is a 6'7" monster that holds various championships. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I pick my enemies very poorly, and plus, neither one knows that they're my enemy. So you know,
Yeah, until
this is
now.
really exceptional work. Exceptional work. Good job.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the MLW review. We will be back when they drop the stuff for Chicago. To my understanding, I think Chicago is going to be taped for Fusion as well. We don't know when Fusion is going to happen, but we will let you know on the socials that we'll be back to talk about MLW. For the time being, drop your thoughts below, any comments, like, share, subscribe over on YouTube and also on rumble.com/user/Marie Shadows and patreon.com/Marie Shadows. But yeah, with that, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Stay with my friends.